We're just getting ready for art class. Gather your supplies. We'll start in 1 minute. So get your pencils, your paper, and your rulers. We'll need a ruler. If you don't have a ruler, get a straight edge, a long stick of cardboard, a magazine, something that will be have a smooth, straight edge. So y'all let me know. Let me know when it's time. So are you ready to go today? I'm excited.
Wasn't the other one live though?
Yeah, they're all live. Does that make you nervous? Does it? Does it? Would it make y'all nervous to go live? Okay. Okay, it's 1 o'clock. Welcome to art class. I hope you had a great weekend, but school is back in session because it's Monday. And we are here today to talk about perspective. I have Tate with me, and Keaton's on the camera, and Talia's on the computer. Send her your questions if you have any. And we do appreciate your comments and your interaction and to let us know. Today, we're talking about perspective. I also put the schedule for the whole week on Facebook. So if you look at that, today we have perspective with Leonardo. Tomorrow we have a good hair day, and the supplies you need for that will be then. We also are doing the Great Wave on Wednesday, and his brother's making him laugh behind the camera. And we've got contour lines on Thursday, and Friday we're going to be doing some dough. If you see the dough recipe, just gather your ingredients. We'll be making that during class and utilizing that for sculpture. As always, I am trying to utilize supplies you have at home. If you have other supplies and you happen to have extra things handy, go ahead and grab those. You can add color to any of these projects. You can utilize paints. You're sending me your pictures, and I see all sorts of awesome things where you're adding extra backgrounds. Please do that. That is excellent. Great job, moms, dads, and caregivers on all those things. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our lesson, and we're going to talk a little bit about Leonardo da Vinci and the use of perspective in art. So Tate asked me earlier, what's perspective? So we're going to help you out with that. Perspective is how we give dimension or distance in our drawings. It's something that was utilized by the ancient Romans thousands of years ago, and then it's as though people forgot how to do it. And again, in about 500 years ago, in the late 15th century, an architect, an Italian architect, Brunelleschi, discovered that process of perspective and how to make it work. And an Italian artist that really utilized that in his pieces is Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci lived during the Renaissance, which the Renaissance went through 3 different periods. You have the early Renaissance, the high Renaissance, and the late Renaissance. But we won't get into all that. But an important date to know is 1520. 1520 is 500 years ago from now. 500 years ago. And that's kind of when the high Renaissance ended. That blew your mind, didn't it? 500 years ago. That seems like a long time. And this is all the way in Italy. If you happen to be watching from Italy, let us know. And thumbs up to you. And we want to talk about one of his most famous paintings that utilizes perspective. Can you see that on there, Keaton? Is there a glare? Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. This is a very famous painting. Can you see it, Tate? And it's known as The Last Supper. So what utilizes the perspective in here is see that where this window is, and then see how these lines come out like this, and then the window comes out like this, and these lines all work backwards with your horizon line and your most distant point being right here. That's an excellent example of perspective. So we're going to learn how to do the techniques that actually Leonardo da Vinci used and how to incorporate those in your drawings. We touched on this a little bit last week when we were doing our cubes and our squares, if you see that in another video. If you missed that day, don't worry, you'll be fine. But go ahead and set up your paper and get your pencils ready and your ruler ready. And another thing, if you notice, we called him Leonardo. That's because of Vinci is what Da Vinci means. It means where he's from. So you can be like Leonardo if you say, I would be Kisa da Paducah, of Paducah. So that's how his last name. So when we're talking about Leonardo, we say Leonardo of Vinci. So Leonardo da Vinci is Leonardo from Vinci. So if you want to be just like Leonardo, you just make your last name of your hometown. All right. You ready to learn a little perspective? Tate? Okay. So grab your paper. This is going to represent my paper right here. I want you to put it in what is called a landscape format. When you put your paper this way, hang on, Tate, you're getting ahead. When you put your paper this way or horizontal, so this in art is your landscape in your paper. We're going to be talking what's called a one-point perspective. It's your first introduction, and it's what we also saw in the Last Supper. So this is going to be what is called my paper. So pretend this is the corner of your paper, and this is the corner, and this is the corner, and there's Tate's sheet of paper. So that way I can demonstrate to you. So I want you to take your straight edge. If it doesn't reach all the way, you can move it along, and I want you to go from the top corner to the lower corner, and I want you to put a big line. So I'm going to do that right now. Tate, can you do that for me? All the way. If you have a shorter one, move it and move it where you get to the other corner. Okay? We're going to do the same thing, and we're going to go from this corner down here. So let's do this. You should have a big X all the way from corner to corner and corner to corner on your page. We'll wait for Tate. We'll get his going. Okay, guys. Now we're going to put a horizontal. We're going to pick where the cross goes, and we're going to do a horizontal line straight across. So right, yep, just like that. We're going to draw a line all across. Oops, I went a little high. All across our paper. I'll make that nice and dark for you. There we go. So, do you remember us talking about our horizon line when we did our sunsets? So the horizon line is where the sky meets the land. It's what you see in the distance. In the painting, you could see the trees going across the horizon line and the sky. So this is our horizon line. This is where everything's going to disappear. This right here is our point for our perspective. So everything that we do is going to originate from this point. So what looks like just an X is going to turn into a road in just a minute. So I want you to put your ruler right there on that point and go at a diagonal about this far down, and I want you to give me a line like this. Okay? You can move your ruler up, baby. Here. So because the easel has, there you go. Okay. Now I want you to do the same thing about equidistant on the other side. Lining it up with that point. Okay? Now, I want you to watch me, and then I'll help show demo on Tate's. We're going to turn this into a road, and I'm going to show you how that works. I'm going to put my ruler right up and down, right through my point on my horizon. Wait just a minute, Tate, because we're going to show you. And I'm going to give myself a dotted line, getting longer as I go down. Do you see a road now? So Tate, if you'll scoot to the side so they can see, put your ruler right there on the point, and you're going to start doing a dotted line. Yep, go ahead. And your dashes get longer and longer as you go down. Keep it against your ruler. There you go. There you go. Good job. Okay. Do you see how your road is starting right here where you would be standing and going all the way back to your point? If you see what is happening to the picture is vanishing as it goes away. It's getting smaller. That's why this is called the vanishing point. So you have your horizon line and the vanishing point. Now, this is where the fun comes. This is where you start to understand, how do they make those pictures look deeper? How do they do that? So we're going to start adding some trees. And these are going to be our tree lines right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to start right here, and I'm going to draw a vertical line just up and down. You can use your ruler if you want. And I'm going to draw another vertical line a little bit closer. So this is, on my picture, this is 3 inches, so I would make this one about 2.5. My measurements are going to be different than yours, but I want you to understand how I make those lines a little bit closer. So this one's going to be a little bit closer, not quite as wide. Can you do that? Excellent job, Tate. And then I'm going to get a little bit closer. And then I'm going to get a little bit closer. And I'm going to do this all the way down. Now, these could end up being telephone poles or the wire poles or light poles that go down the highway. But just for fun, we're going to turn those into trees. Everyone doing okay, Talia? Okay. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Oh, we have a question. Here's my speaker's pulled down. Can y'all hear me a little bit better? I'll move it. This is let's see. I speak so loudly, sometimes I forget. In class, everyone hears me quite, because I'm really loud and excited about it all. Okay. Okay, good deal. So what we're going to happen is we're going to start turning these into trees, and you're going to see how they get a little bit smaller. So Tate's going to leave his right here so you see what we're doing, and then I'm going to develop mine. So I'm going to give myself an organic tree shape. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to give myself a trunk down the middle. Now notice all our vertical lines, which are our up and down lines, always stay up and down. Okay? Can you see my tree right here? We're going to do the same thing, and I'm keeping the bottom of my tree about at my horizon line. You can wait, or you can draw your trees so they can see your example, baby. So we're going to keep our tree toppers right here. I'm putting the top at the top of that. I'm putting the bottom of the tree line at the horizon line. And then I'm putting my trunk ending right here. Okay. Now I'll color that in so y'all can see that a little bit better. You start getting a lot of vertical lines. Can you see what's going on with our trees? And then I want you to fill all these in. We're going to have a beautiful row of trees here. Just kind of do something organic. Try and darken those up. Now, if you added color to these, you would make these get darker too. That's how you can increase your perspective with also shading and getting darker and lighter. Light always comes forward, dark always recedes away. So, got it? How are your trees coming? I'm going to have a little tiny tree down there. Give my trees a little. But can you start to see how the trees go smaller and smaller and come together to the vanishing point. That's exactly what happens when you stand in the middle of the street and you look down a long street or a highway. The buildings do the same thing. The telephone wires do the same thing. The trees, they all, as they get further and further away, they're not actually smaller, but they appear smaller. And that's how you represent this in drawing. Excellent job. How's everyone doing on their trees? I love your trees. And so this tree you might make a little bit taller there. So you get that, but it could be a smaller tree. And we'll darken those up. So now, what you would do in drawing is you would end up erasing some of these lines. So if you're doing an actual drawing that you might be finishing, you would end up erasing your original lines and then leaving your actual images right there. So we're going to start over here. Are you ready? Are you ready to do some buildings? Whew, you think you got it? Okay, let's go. Go ahead and you can use this ruler if you want. That's a little bit smaller. And I'm going to use your ruler. We're going to do the same thing that we just did. We're going to start over here, Tate, and we're going to do those vertical lines. But this time, put one right here. And then I'm going to space one out because I want to show you what happens when we do that. So I'm going to put one about this far away. I'm going to let everyone get there. And we're going to see what happens. I'm going to straighten mine up just a little bit. You're going to straighten yours up a little bit. You feeling good? So let me show you what happens when we start making buildings and how that becomes a building from this part of our X and this part of our vertical lines. So if I take my ruler and I'm going to start right here and I'm going to make a horizontal line parallel or equal, the same as this one right here. Can you do that? Can you go straight across like this? So you're going to come right across on here. Here, can you stand back so everyone can see? You're going to come right across there. Now, you're going to try and keep it even with this. Just like that. There you go. Yep. I'm going to help you there. We're going to do the same thing right up here. Okay. Tate, we're going to do this one right up here too. You're going to come across there. And then what happens is this is our space in between our buildings right here. So let me do another line right here, baby, just like this. So if this building, can you do one right here? If this, yeah, I'm going to leave it right here and let y'all see this. Let me do this. Okay, so what we did was we put our lines right here. I wanted to show you how this looks different, and I'm going to color this in. So if this was facing towards us, it would look just like this. Don't worry about coloring it in. I'm just doing it to show you. Facing away from us. So this would be the front of the building, and here's the side as you walk down the street. So if we wanted to put a door, we're going to put another vertical line, and then we're going to go to our vanishing point right here. And that's the way our doorway is going to go, like that. Do you start seeing a building? So let me go over the steps again. We did lines up and down, vertical lines, lines that go from the floor to the ceiling, up and down. And then we put a horizontal line here. And we did this just to show you if this building was facing forward. Yep. And then any lines that I'm going to have to do that go across this way, I'm going to attach to my vanishing point. So do you want to make some windows? Let's make a window in here. So your windows would have your up and down lines always stay up and down. And then from here, we're going to go, I'm going to do the top of the window, lining up my ruler with my vanishing point, and right here, and then I'm going to go here to the top of my ruler, and then our vertical lines always go up and down. Yep, just like that. Remember, you're always lining your ruler up here. So let's put the bottom of your window right there. And now draw the bottom of your window using your ruler. Perfect. Oops. So what happens is everywhere you do a line like this, you're lining it up with your vanishing point. So do we want to make another building? Yep, one more building, and then we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so if we need another building, do we need another vertical line? That's right. So we're going to put another vertical line right here, and then we have to put another one for the front of the building. There we go. Now, because this is going to be the side, we're going to come straight across, and then come straight across top and bottom. Did you see? Here, can you move to the side so everyone can see yours? There you go. Come straight across right here. And then, let's see, come straight across right here. Okay, you ready to do a door and a window? Tate, why don't you put a door and a window on there? Let's see, so our horizon line could be our circle, our ending line. And then if I want this, I've got to go to my vanishing point. Does everyone see how you would start making buildings on a perspective and a road on a perspective? Talia, do we have any questions? Everyone is doing awesome. I know we went through that pretty quickly. And guess what, guys? This basic concept is exactly the concept used by artists all over for 500 years and then even thousands of years ago. We have a question?
There is one. Can you walk through just how to make the building one more time?
I sure can, because sometimes it goes very quickly. I want to leave this one up and leave Tate's up. So is it okay if I do it up here to show you? I'm just going to put my vanishing point right here, and I'm going to put my line going this way and my line going this way. Remember, always in perspective, in 1 point perspective, which means there's only 1 point you're going to, your vertical lines always stay up and down. That's what helps with the drawing illusion of it going back this way. So always your up and down lines always go from floor to ceiling. It's your horizontal lines that change according to your point. So we're going to put our building right here. I'm going to put a line. That's going to be the side of my building. And then I'm going to put a front. That's going to be the front of my building. Because the side isn't what you see going down the street. It's actually going down another street. It's going to go straight across like that. So I'll color in that side so you see where the side is. See how that side works? Then, would you like to color in your windows over here so they can see where your windows are? Then when I'm going to do a doorway, I'm going to put my verticals Remember, they always stay up and down. But in order to get the top of my doorway, I'm going to line my ruler up with my point, and I'm going to put it just like that. When I want to do my window, I'm going to do, again, my verticals always stay up and down, but let me line my ruler up with the vanishing point. And that's how I get that perspective. I hope that's helpful when you see how that works. So, does anyone else, I'll go ahead and ask your questions right now. Oh, I have charcoal on my face. Oh, you know what? You have charcoal on your arm. Look, I think we charcoaled together. So, but feel free to ask any questions. Sometimes if you just remember, keep putting your ruler on that point or your straight edge. You can always use a piece of paper. But what you want is this is where your eye and your image goes away. So you want everything going towards the vanishing point. As it gets smaller and smaller, it's vanishing to your eye. And it's going to go to that horizon line. You could do the same thing with mountains and sunsets. Yes, Talia has a question.
Do you have suggestions on how to erase their drawing lines or what to do when they're drawing them?
Okay. Well, for this study, it's fine to have your drawing line show because that way you have a practice. So when you're trying to remember how to do perspective, you can go back and look at it. But when you do your next drawing and you think, I love this, I want to do something else, draw your perspective lines in lightly, very lightly with a pencil, and then that way you'll be able to erase them. Even though I'm no erasers, on perspective, because it is a type of drawing that requires lots of lines that might not be a part of your drawing, you can erase those on there. But that was a great question. Who did that come from, Talia? Oh,
Buried.
Whoever that was an amazing question. Excellent job.
Someone else
Okay.
lost that comment as well.
Okay.
Find it. Wanted to know how you might add a roof onto your building.
Okay, that's a great suggestion. That's why I love these live classes.
Melody asks.
Thank you, Melody, for that question. Remember, your roof is going to line up with your vanishing point. So let's say we wanted to have something that came out a little bit. And you know what? I think you're good. We'll go ahead and let you have a seat over there, and I'll bring you back over when we need to do this. So, if our roof is over here on this side, this vanishing point, that's a really hard concept, but this vanishing point goes off that way. So you can always just put it this way. And then you want to line up any roof with your vanishing point, just like that. So it would come down that way. Or if it came up high, any line you're going to have that goes on top goes to that vanishing point. If your roof was going to come out here, it's still going to come up. It's a vertical line, so it's still going to come up like that. It's just this point is going to be what you put in your vanishing point.
A lot of people are asking about what do you do for the sky?
Ooh, well, that is an awesome question.
Or how would you put a sun in, and is that relative to the time of day?
That could be relative whenever you wanted. Your sun obviously moves from the east to the west. So your sun can be anywhere up here, or we could be looking west, and it could be in a sunset. You could have a sunset. This is your horizon line, so the sun is never going to be below here, or the moon, because the horizon line is where land is. So anything below here is land, but your sun can be right here. As it sets, your sun could be up here. The sun won't matter to the perspective line. You can place it anywhere. A beautiful drawing to do is to put your sunset right here, and then You can do your perspective line for waves and boats and water. That's a really fun one to do, especially if you have some things that will make color in your home, paints, markers, any of those. That's a great way to do that. So, any other questions? And we'll kind of tidy up on our perspective lesson. But feel free to send those comments too, and we try to answer all your questions, because I know students that sometimes this is a whole bunch of information, and I know I have students of all ages. Y'all have sent me from 4 years old to 84, and I'm so excited. If y'all don't know, art is my life. It's what I went to school for. It's what I went to college for. It's what I went to graduate school for. It's what I do all the time. And nothing makes me more excited than to have other people get excited about art. So anything I can do to help you with this process, just let us know. That's what I want to do as your teacher for these. So send in those comments. These are great ideas, but remember the horizon line, your sky is always above the horizon, land is always below. You can always add mountains, that come up like this. You can have mountains that come up, if this was your horizon line, your mountains can come up along that way too. This is, once you understand how this works, and you understand how to use a vanishing point and a horizon line, your pictures can become just like this with lots of depth and drawing. And really, no one is too young to start understanding this concept, because every time I'll say it over and over, art is about observation. It's about looking and seeing. So next time you're in the car and you happen to be with a group of people, look down the street and try and find the vanishing point. See how it goes. If you can walk out of your house and be able to look down a street, see how that works. If you want to look up Leonardo da Vinci's picture, The Last Supper, go ahead and look at that and see how that works. Because learning about that can be a wonderful, wonderful thing, especially when you're drawing. So that is going to, do we have some more questions?
Yes.
Yes.
How do you do shadows?
Shadows. Woo! Well, the quickest way I can say that, because we're running out of time in our lesson, the closer to the horizon line you get, the darker your items get. So if you have, your items are going to be darker as they go along. The other thing is, if you're doing shadows, the further away from the light, right here, from the light, not the vanishing point, your shadows get longer. So my items, my trees will get darker as I go this way. As I get further and further away, my shadows will get longer. So keep sending your questions. We're going to have to tidy up for class. This was a hard lesson, and I'm so proud of you for hanging in on this one, because this is really a big concept. Remember, the Romans did this thousands of years ago, and it was so hard, people forgot how to do it until the Renaissance. So here we are. We're talking about the Renaissance 500 years ago. We're talking about perspective today, no matter where you are, and I'm so excited to have you. And tomorrow we're going to switch gears, and we're going to do something light and fun. So if you have watercolors, feel free to use those, but I'm trying to get really creative on how to find things in your house to use. So tomorrow we're going to be painting rabbits. It's our great hair day. And if you don't have any watercolors, I'm going to be using coffee. So make some really strong coffee, like the way the Italians like it. Really strong. And we're going to use that, and we're going to learn how to draw bunnies. So with that, we'll see you for a good hair day tomorrow. And remember, art is man's nature, and nature is God's art. See you.